Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and it's an exciting one. So you will know by now that Dina has a brand new release. The new glosses are out and they are gorgeous. There is also a new set of transparencies as well, the typography set too, and some new stencils as well. So you're going to love this release. These glosses are amazing. So I've just gone in with some clear gesso. And that is just prepping my page. Now I'm just having a play painting the glosses onto my page. That one is raspberry. It's beautiful. So the glosses you can use in so many different ways. You will know, obviously you're watching this because you're a follower of Dina. She often just pours them. That's not really my jam. And those of you that are watching that have been with me at Dina Wakley workshops will know that I nearly collapse when she starts pouring them. You know, that's I need more control than that. I am not that free. I wish I was, but you know, we're all different and that is absolutely fine. So here I'm painting them on just because I want to see how they're kind of going to play together. I'm creating a sort of rainbow effect here. So I've gone raspberry mustard, malachite, sapphire and iris. There is also cocoa in the mix as well. They are so pigmented, they're so rich in colour. You can see how they're kind of bleeding into one another. They're really pretty. Now you're going to be thinking, what on earth are you doing here? So my background was dry, then going in with some white paint. I'm going to use this new stencil called Big Circles, and I'm going to pop it on top and remove the paint. So I'm creating that nice pattern, doing that reductive stenciling technique. This is a great way to get some pattern onto your page, and you can create so many fun layers doing this, really, as long as you make sure that each layer is dry before you go any further. So I'm going to just clean that off, and then making sure my baby wipe isn't too wet as well, because that will just make it just be too damp and it will bleed underneath your stencil. So just lifting that off, I'm going to be left with that lovely stencil pattern on my page behind. I'm just making sure it's nice and clean. Want it to be a good pattern. Look at that, isn't that cool? And what I'm doing now is starting to calm down that background a little bit too. So then I decided I would actually stencil through. So I think it's quite often just about having a play with the new things that come out and just seeing what you can do, and how they're going to work together. So here I'm just adding some stenciling, so using the stencil rather than doing the reductive stenciling. This is an older stencil. I can't read. It's called Stacked, that's right, Stacked. And I'm using some iris paint through this. So I'm using the colours as well in the paints to work and play with those glosses. So I'm just adding that stenciling to break up the background that I've created, and it is looking quite busy, but I'm okay with that. I have some paint left on my palette there, so I'm just pulling that onto the top and bottom corner of my page. I don't like to leave bits of paint left over. Then I'm just cutting a piece off one of the transparencies from the new typography set. I'm going to create a little like landing platform for the image that I want to add. I'm going to put a couple of strips of transparency down my page, and then I'm going to add a stamped image on top. This just kind of draws the attention into where the image is going to be as well. So I'm going to use a couple of different pieces. This new set has got different sizes in too, and they do work really nicely together. So here I'm just cutting a bit of a scallop to this piece of transparency just to give it a bit more interest, and I'm going to lay it at the side of the other one that I've cut out. I'm just going to create that little area there. It's going to sort of stick down that third of the page. I think I stapled them in place, but you could equally use ultra thick gel medium. It's great for sticking transparencies in. So this is one of the birds from the most recent stamp set that Dina released with the birds on, and I'm just going to have one bird on my page, on this page, I think this bird stamp set is one of my favourite ones. I just love these little birds. So here I'm just using a bit of glue stick to stick this on. Obviously I've cut it out really carefully. You don't really need to watch me cutting out. So I've done that, and that's going to be stuck onto my page. And then I'm adding a bit of stamping. So this is one of my all-time favourite stamps. It's one that I designed for Funky Fossil, but I just love the dots. I think they appear, as you can see on the page opposite, they appear on lots of my journal pages. Then of course I wanted to add some hearts. I'm going through a phase of using hearts a lot in my journaling at the moment. Often my journaling does reflect what's going on in my life, and yeah, anyway, that's it really. So using hearts is yeah, I just often kind of go with what feels instinctive, and popping these on my page just felt right. So using a bit of PVA glue to stick these in place, and I didn't want them to be really obvious, so they're not the focal. The bird is the focal point, and I know the glare on the transparencies is making that a bit difficult to see, but the bird was definitely the thing that was the most important on this page. So then I've got a bit of white paint left, so I'm just going in adding some splatters, because who doesn't love a splatter? I also stamped some circles onto there, but they didn't show up brilliantly because I didn't have a great deal of paint left, but I wasn't really bothered about that. So I've grabbed a stamp set, I think it's one of the Be Bold one, and this is a phrase that I wanted to put on here: be brave, be bold. A lot of you know that my children are growing up, they're sort of late teens, young adults, and you know, more and more they are encountering situations where they have to be brave and bold, as we all do, as we go through daily life. So that was kind of something that was on my mind while I was creating this journal page. So just sticking those words on there, and I like those because of the contrast. They're black and white, and they stand out really nicely against the rest of my page. So Dina's brand new release is lovely. She did say it was only a small release. I don't think this is a small release. I think this is quite a good big release. All these gloss colours, which you're going to love, new stencils and more transparencies. So I think you're going to have so much fun when you guys get your hands on these things. So thanks for watching. I hope you found some inspiration, and I hope to see you again soon.